The Prime Minister has dismissed suggestions from a Liberal senator that Australia's Pacific Infrastructure Fund could saddle countries with too much debt. The former Pacific Minister, Concetta Fierravanti-Wells, spoke out about the $2 billion fund as Scott Morrison landed in Fiji today. Foreign Affairs reporter Stephen Jedgetts reports from Suva.
There are some things that you can't control. Scott Morrison was greeted by a downpour. But his formal welcome was much warmer. The Prime Minister's trip is designed to shore up Australia's influence, and he came bearing gifts. $80 million for a new university partnership and almost $20 million to beam more Australian TV into the region.
We live together as a family of nations in the Pacific.
And the two nations have announced a family partnership, or what's called locally a Vivali partnership.
It truly marks a new chapter in the Fijian-Australian relationship.
But there are two big millstones hanging around Scott Morrison's neck. One is former Pacific Minister Concetta Fierravanti-Wells, who chose today to take aim again at Scott Morrison's flagship policy to create an infrastructure bank for Pacific nations.
I am concerned that saddling the Pacific with additional debt is not going to be in the long-term interests of the Pacific Island countries.
I don't agree with the perspective that she's offered. The Pacific Step Up program has been incredibly well received.
The other irritant is the saga of Islamic State extremist Neil Prakash. Australia stripped Prakash of his citizenship and said it could do so because he was entitled to Fijian citizenship. But Fijian officials were angered by that and denied it outright, making it clear that they did not want him to resettle here.
Mr Morrison has to apologise to our friends in Fiji for the extraordinary conduct in relation to Neil Prakash.
But the Prime Minister says he and Frank Bainimarama had already smoothed it over.
No, he did not raise it with me, and because this matter had already been dealt with before our meetings today.
They've reconciled, but the problem is unresolved. Stephen Jedgetts, ABC News, Suva.